Hey guys.
Hello!
So I'm messing with my Game Boy here, and John is complaining that I've abandoned my sycophants. So here's some stuff for John.
Okay.
So what I'm doing, this is a Game Boy,
Yeah.
and I just put in a backlight. And the backlight that I got doesn't have a polarization filter on it, so it's inverting all of the pixels.
So what does that mean?
It means that the screen looks inside out, kind of. You know, the text is light and the background is dark.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right. So,
now, why don't you just get a screen that did the opposite?
one, they're out of stock on them, but two, to get even better contrast,
Yeah.
you can leave the polarization filter off, get higher light levels, and these are the data lines for the 2-bit color on the Game Boy.
Okay.
So there's traces that go from here to those 2 pins going to the LCD ribbon cable. I cut those traces, and then I brought those to 1A and 1Y. 1A, let's see, this is going to 1Y, this is going to 2Y on an SMT hex inverter chip that's hidden inside the tape and soldered up to the ribbon cable.
Okay.
And
so
then
it's a chip that literally reverses?
Yeah, it's just reversing the polarity.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the signal is getting tapped into here, brought into the A side, and then it comes out the Y side inverted and then goes to the pin that it used to go to. So those 2 bits are always opposite of what they would have normally been.
I see.
And the net result of that is that it actually flips the pixels back to where they're supposed to be, even though it doesn't have a polarization filter on it.
So, okay, so you've got the chip there.
Well, it's got an inverted polarizing filter, I should say.
Okay. So you've got the inverter chip. I see you have ribbon cable that you used. And then, so that's how the chip is getting power.
It's getting power from here
Okay.
and here.
Oh, which one's ground?
The one that's not red.
Oh, ha. Okay.
I actually used the ribbon cable thing to remind myself which one was which. So this is power and ground is over here. So
Okay.
there's pin 14 off the hex inverter is power, so it's going there. Pin 7 off the hex inverter is ground, so it's going there. And then pins 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the 1 and 3 are think of them as inputs 1 and inputs 2. Those are picking up where the data used to come out. And then the outputs, the inverted outputs, for 1 is on pin 2, and for 2 it's on pin 4. So the inverted outputs are going out into where it normally would have gone by itself.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
So
So-
let's plug it in and see if it works.
Yeah. Woo!
So now the text is dark and the background is light again,
Very
even
nice.
though it's got an inverted polarization filter in it.
Will it play the
So the
music?
contrast is really super high compared to what would normally be in a Game Boy.
Yeah.
And normally there's not any light. I added an LED backlight diffuser panel and everything behind the LCD, took
Where-
off its original polarization filter
Where'd you get that from?
from an envelope
Oh.
in the mail.
Oh.
So there's the polarization filter and the reflector, because it didn't they didn't come with backlights. They just used natural light.
Yeah.
So they had the polarization filter, and then
What does that mean?
the light
Like-
source was the sun, right? So,
What does that even mean, though? I don't really get what a polarization filter
well,
is.
look it up. It's very interesting stuff.
Education, Whisker.
Well, I don't know exactly. I mean, it's, optics.
All
You
right.
could do a whole video series just on that.
So, in other words, we don't know. But it was taken
Well,
off.
I have a good idea, but
It was
not
taken
enough to
off.
teach.
Oh. Alright, it was taken off, and then you stuck it behind your screen,
Yeah.
and that's where the light is coming from.
Yeah, there's 4 LEDs along the bottom strip of it,
Oh, yeah.
and a big white diffuser that's the exact same size as the screen.
I see.
there used to be little pieces of foam that would sit behind the screen and float it up inside of its frame here. So the backlight diffuser is actually the same thickness as what the little foam standoffs were.
Oh, handy.
So I took the foam standoffs out and threw that in there, and now it sits, you know, down nicely.
Okay.
I got one column that's going in and out because the trace from the ribbon cable is just a little bit loose.
Okay.
Let's see if I can figure out how to fix that.
What program are you running?
At the moment, it's LSDJ.
Okay.
Little sound
For music?
DJ. Yes.
Can we listen to it?
Potentially.
Potentially. I mean, it's up to you if you want to put it together before we do it.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I can hit start because, I mean, the buttons aren't on it, but I do have buttons just laying around, so we could theoretically hack into it. So which one's start and which one's select?
I think the one on the left is start. Right?
I think that one's start.
Funny.
And that's all you get without going to tymkrs.com, or let's see, it's tymkrs.bandcamp.com.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing up there yet, but the songs I'm making on this will be up there. So,
Chip tunes.
yeah, check it out. I've also got the
Hackery.
the sound modified as well. The headphone amplified sound used to be in a couple wires over here, down into this board, and now I'm tapped in before the volume potentiometer, so I'm getting the line level outputs right out of the chip, and then bringing them down to the 1/8 inch output through the DC blocking capacitors.
And did you add that 1/8 inch?
No, it's the original one. I'm just repurposing it. It used to be a headphone jack. Now it's a professional line out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. A lot of hacking on this one.
Yeah.
Good job.
Not done yet.
Pretty screen.
Okay, I'm gonna put it back in its case now.
Okay. So Whiskers put this all back together. Nice. Form factor delight. Cool.
Alright, time to get back to making music. Later, dudes.
Peace. We post videos all the time, so don't forget to subscribe. And follow us on Twitter at TYMKRS.